Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a recap backslash my feelings on week 4 of VCT 2026 Kickoff. Starting first with Americas, and this week we're going into EMEA next, and then Pacific, instead of Pacific first, so I'm sorry, and then we'll go to China. I have thoughts this week. It looked better for some regions, others still look fucking abysmal. So first up, we have to talk about Envy EG. I am perplexed. So, I think I'm titling this something about like I have words for some of these coaches or some shit like that. Because okay, so let's go here. For those of you that didn't catch the game, probably not worth watching to be honest. But they brought in Demon One. They benched Baby J Inspire, backslash Inspire. Um and bring in Demon One. And for look, even I have said, yeah, just let Demon One be a controller. He said in the past he wanted to do controller. That's why Potter let him play Astra on Split. All that way back in EG, right? And played Brimstone on Fracture. We remember that, right? But here's my question, which is why, now mind you, first off, Envy as a whole pisses me off. This is going to be an Envy like rant right now. First up, you could have had Demon One, apparently. Like you could have had that, unless there was that whatever happened with Lev contract situation. They said they didn't contract jail him, but apparently there was something in his contract. I don't know. Which is why he didn't go to G2. But so maybe that's what happened with EG because we remember hearing about the trials. Like, oh, I mean that's why he didn't go to Envy. He's like, oh, he Envy trial Demon One, but it didn't happen. And then there's like Envy for whatever reason is trying to do this. Oh, we're bad boys. We're so bad. We only pick up the players that have allegations or a lot of people talk shit about them because they're mean. They're bad. Like I don't know what's going on here. Like why they're trying to do this bad boy persona thing. So I mean like Demon One fits in, I guess. And like oh, it's they got Demon One. So that's thing number one. Like Envy is doing some weird shit. I don't know what they're doing there. It's like oh we only play with oh we're bad. Like whatever past that, whatever fuck ass shit that is. You could have had Demon One from the jump, but then apparently you pick up Kesnet and Rossi. I feel like not to shit on either one of those, but if you were looking for another duelist until Kane and Ion get back, I don't know why you went all the way out to get Kesnet when apparently you could have had Demon 1 already home. I don't know. Don't get it. Then we come back to the fact that Demon 1 controller, and as you can see, the only one out of the team that went positive for the entire series. Well, for the overall of the series, right? That's not my issue. My issue is what the fuck is your playbook? As a coach, yeah, I'm putting this on the coach. What the fuck is your playbook where you get somebody spur of the moment and you have your smoke player play a sentinel when you could just make the person that plays one of the sentinels to a pretty high level, i.e. chamber, easiest thing to slot in the world, um, on Astra. And you'd go, it's not that big of a deal. No, this is why it's a big of a deal, right? There's two roles in Valorant that you need to know the systems of what the team is doing. It's not as simple as go die or go hold the site. That is controller and initiator. For those two roles, you need to know what the fuck the team's plan is. So I'm not necessarily mad at Demon 1 being on controller, maybe moving forward. I still think that's a very fucking odd decision considering he just said he wants to be a duelist. But you already have Kesnet and Exter there. So yeah, probably can't do that one, right? Um, but what is your playbook? What was the strategy here? Where instead of just saying, "Hey, you go chamber," boom, we'll make it work. Literally, you can just throw chamber in a comp. You just put the sentinel over there. Have a trip, call it a day. You got rid of your sentinel player. But you put the new guy on one of the two most important roles for knowing the playbook. That makes me ask a lot of fucking questions of what your playbook is. And then the new guy is the only one over the course of the series to go positive by the end of it. I don't know, man. Then we come to EG. Much more happy about EG. Digijin plus 33. My goodness. Super, I'm sorry I've ever doubted you. Kasupa has been on a tear lately. Not gonna lie. Been on a tear. Um, and I should have said this last week because it was much more evident, but I forgot to say it, so I'm saying it here. It is funny when Notorious, because they fixed this. They didn't do this week. They did this last week or the weeks previously. It is funny when known flankers become IGLs because then they start trying to contact into every fucking site and do shit. That's one of the things that I saw going wrong for EG. Not every site, but like on the Abyss games last week, and kind of on Bind. It's like, why are you creeping in? Guys, you gotta use utility. You can't just do that with five of you. Like, nobody else has been anywhere. Um, and it's not just Calm. Saw that with Nats, with Team Liquid, which is funny. And there was somebody, like two other. Oh, I was thinking about Marv when he was IGLing for Sentinels for a bit, and they kept fucking contact creep up in mid of split for whatever fucking reason. Oh my gosh, that was killing me. But it's funny when like your lurker players turn IGL and then try to ask you to like do utter bullshit to try to get on the site. And by utter bullshit, I mean like not doing shit. But I'm glad to say that it seems like that's been slightly resolved out of EG because they remembered, hey, DJZ could kill everybody if we're around. If we're just anywhere close, we can support DJZ and he'll just kill them for us. Like, that was good. And putting him perma Yoru, great decision. Like, it was just like, it was perfect. It was fucking amazing. So honestly, I don't know why it was a 2-0. Yeah, it was close on Pearl. Then they were like, fuck it, we're out on Corrode. That's kind of fine, whatever. But I have so many questions, like so many questions about what, I don't know, maybe things that happened at Envy were just so jarring to everybody's mind that they couldn't figure out a game plan. But it seems like Inspire and I think it was Poppin or something are Steel Boys. I don't know, but I had to rant about Envy and how they've done everything this situation. It's just like, I don't know why you're trying to be so hard of like, oh, we got to get the problematic players and oh, we got to like let it go. That shit's fucking stupid. I don't, oh my gosh, that was fucking stupid. But coming back, going on to the next one. Sentinels Lev. So I'm going to yell at I think both of these coaches. First off, Sen. So it I really didn't like that they I said it last week. I don't think you get to do a bunch of rah 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 when the team you beat. Who did they beat last week? Was it Crew or was it? Sorry, it was EG. When EG looked just barely better, or no, barely. It was Loud. Sorry. EG beat Loud. Who did Sentinels beat last week? They lost to Lev this week. Last time we saw them, lost to 100 Thieves. Oh, right. I was thinking you couldn't do that rah 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 when they beat EG. I was like, EG looks terrible right now. So I don't know how you're just going to go like, oh, it was, oh my gosh, they're back. And then, like, of course they weren't back. It didn't fucking look good. But to Sentinels. So, I've been on Kaplan's head for a while. Since being a Sentinels fan. I'm sorry I'm not anymore. Or sorry I ever was, depending on how you look at it, right? But safe to say I'm not too much of a Sentinels fan. And I've been on Kaplan's head a long time because I see tendencies. And when I see tendencies that I don't like, I stick with them and do confirmation bias. That's how the world works, right? Um, but I don't think that Kaplan needs to be removed or anything. I'll be quite frank, I haven't liked shit coming out of the coaching since they let go of Drew. Haven't liked the damn thing out of it. Um, that was the most questionable shit I've seen. Didn't really fuck with that decision. And it hasn't looked good since then, if you ask me. Um, so I thought that was not great, but hey, that might not have been like too much of Kaplan say. That might have been Rob Moore or whoever else at Sentinels management was like, hey, we're letting go of Drew. You're getting somebody else. I don't know, right? And apparently, the assistant coach and Kaplan were boys. I don't really know. Don't really know. But I haven't liked anything coming out of Sen since they let go of Drew. Drew Spark. But I also want to say this. I don't think that the issue so much because I saw somebody was like he tries to innovate too much. I'm like, innovate what? Doesn't innovate shit. He just puts people on certain things. I think, but it's shit that you've seen. There's no innovation here. We've seen a Neon, we've seen a Chamber, we've seen Waylay, we've seen Sky. Like that. No, there's no fucking innovation here. And a lot of people are tough on narrate. Narrate went positive. Uh, also kind of tough on narrate too myself. And then John had like he came off his heater. But this is my problem. It looks like John wants to be an initiator. He's now had two stints, both still being an IGL and now not being primary IGL or primary caller, of being an initiator. And both of those times look pretty good. Let John be an initiator. I don't we don't need to do that. But that comes to my grand scheme of things of it looks like I the reason that the other thing that's been really annoying to me why I've been on Kaplan's head the entire time since he's taken over as head coach is because I see stubbornness. Oh, get 13 0'd? Fuck it, run it back. Get 13 0'd again? Well, you gotta do it again. Like, you gotta say that we fixed it. Come on now, we can't pick it again. No, just let them. You ban it, okay? Instead of you picking it, like he's done that before. Like, instead of you picking the map you got 13 0'd on, go somewhere else, right? Um, but with that, I think there's not enough innovation. I think it is trying to do what the rest of teams are doing and not what your players can do. So here's the problem, right? I think this is my crackpot hypothesis of this Sentinels roster. They tried to make 5 flex players. I don't think you can do that. Trust me, it's the fantasy of every coach where it's just like, I got 5 players that can play anything. I don't think that's here. Narrate's best role? Guess what? Initiator. His gecko was actually kind of funny in EMEA. I remember that, right? Um, Redux? Cough, maybe? Uh, Caillou, unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with all of Caillou's stuff. But, as we can see, on Initiator. Cortezia, played Viper this entire series. Hey. And then John, who was fucking thriving both times on Initiator. Um, so, you have 3.5 initiators on a team? Yeah, I think it's fucked. You got rid of Bang. You got rid of Drew. Well, Drew was first, then Bang. I don't know what the idea here. I think it's kind of fucked from the jump of the roster that has been made. And that's why they're struggling. Because nobody here wants to play fucking smokes. Except for apparently Cortesia. Or Cortesia. I hear both pronunciations. I'm sorry, I'm not still not clear on which one's the right one. That said, though, I think if you have 3.5 initiators, you say, hey, we're running double initiator, not we're running double duelist. Um, who is your primary duelist at that point? Honestly, I think you just let Redux do it. I think you just let Redux do it. I think you let him pick Yoru. You put Narrate and John on Initiator. And you tell Caillou to be a Sentinel because he's the IGL. Because right now, I'm looking at 5 people, and the only Sentinel I've seen out of this, I guess on both teams, is somebody had to pick Chamber. That said, Nary's Chamber wasn't too bad. I don't hate it. Right? So, with all that, I think from what I've seen out of my time of watching Sentinels for years, I think Kaplan's stubborn. And that's my only thing. I think you gotta let it go. And mind you, Narrate actually had a fantastic series as far as first kill, first deaths. Goodness. Um, I think you just let it go. You let them play a comp that is different. You do what 100 Thieves are doing. You do what Paper Rex do. You join other teams and doing something that your players fucking play. If that means you have a Gecko Teho comp with a Yoru Gecko Teho Viper, put Caillou on Omen at that point, I guess. Omen comp. Sure. Fuck it. Try it. Because whatever you're trying isn't working right now. Yeah, well, it didn't work. Now you have plenty of time to see if anything else could work. Play what your players want to fucking play, not what everybody else is playing and trying to figure out how you can play it. That's my spiel on Sen. The game, as you can see, it was whatever. Like, it was close, but this goes back to my thing with Lev and what I keep saying. It's just like, hey, if it looks close against a team that is shitting the bed, I don't think you're back. So, while everybody was rooting and cheering and, whoa, Lev got the win over Sentinels, oh my gosh, Lev is back, we told you, once Neon came back, they were going to be the truth. Foreshadowing, no, I don't think that's quite how that works. I think there's too many issues with Lev that, again, might stem from the fucking coach. I don't know. I don't know. I think you have to break up King and Owner again. I don't think you can have both of them together. I think King listens to Owner, and I think you need somebody that doesn't listen to Owner. I think you have somebody that like has an idea of what Owner said and goes, yeah, but we're still going to do this. Which at that point you ask, do you need that coach if you're not listening to what your coach says? I don't know, dude. But Lev finally looking okay versus a team that doesn't look okay doesn't make me feel okay. So I spent a lot of time on those, but I had to rant about those. Six, I'm not saying it. Then we come to 100 Thieves EG. I am again of two minds, and I will be yelling about a coach, yelling at a coach again, but also not. NBS and Doom Bros, and or Doom Bros, so somebody's doing it. When it comes to NBS, I don't like that he does the new coach thing. New, which is, he's not a new coach. Well, to this team he is. So I guess it's still the same policy kicks in. The new coach thing is seeing if your players can figure it out and waiting way too fucking long to call a timeout. Because it's very clear to me after NBS or Doom Bros, whoever the fuck, calls the timeout and NBS talks, that I see the fixes that needed to be fixed. One of those things, I don't understand what is with Vora and Sky. His Sky needs work. Between team flashes, or the thing that was pissing me off the most was on bind, of course, because that's when you pick Sky. You bought the heal on pistol, and you've bought the heal several times in the round. You are standing next to the people that took damage. You should not be rotating and then entering the next site, the next site with those players not healed. What the fuck are we doing? That happened too many times. And then, of course, after an NBS timeout, or after a timeout, because again, I'm convinced one of them is going, hey, by the way, stop doing this stupid thing with your util to whoever, whether it be Asuna Sage Reses, whether it be Vora heals, because after the timeout, I didn't see that issue anymore. I did not see that issue anymore. So I'm convinced that one of them is like, hey, could you not fucking do that? Or could you fucking do that? I'm convinced that one of them has to be bad cop in the moment. But I don't. Something for needs to work on Sky. But I don't remember when the timeouts came in. But there needs to be protocols to not let this shit happen. I don't care how much faith you have in somebody. If you completely dog walk them, like you completely dog walk them for one half where you didn't need to call a timeout, after three, I don't care if it's pistol, eco, bonus. You take a time and go, hey, hold on, guys. Let's think for a second. Okay? We just lost a bonus. How do we not let that happen again? Or let the next round look closer? What do? We don't call it after 6 losses. Because now the score is 10-8. When at first you were 10-2 on the half. Which then leads to it being close as fuck for a 13-11 win. Please, NBS, for my heart, I'm one of the older fans. I guess there's even older out there. Please, call the timeouts fucking sooner. It's pretty evident that you have the answer. Come to bind, where it's a win by OT. This one, I don't have that issue, right? It looks pretty solid. It was a nice little back and forth, right? Okay. That's I don't know. It needed I wasn't feeling hopeful, but I'm glad they pulled it over the line. And DG's in was trying his damnedest, especially on buying. My goodness, what was his final rating? Plus 12. Yeah. Uh, they finally killed the raid boss and pulled it over the line. Which, coming to the grand scheme of things, I don't know what 100 Thieves are going to do. Because Cryo is putting up great numbers, but it doesn't look like they're treating Cryo like a raid boss. They're setting up Tim, which you should be doing. This is not to say that this is something you should not do. You should be setting up your duelist. But I would like to see them split resources more so that you can also get Cryo, your amazing aimer. Not to say Tim is a bad aimer or anything, but he is speed blitzing kids. Like this kid over here is insane. Like he is rushing people the fuck down. Okay, um, I think there needs to be some way, maybe a comp change, but I don't think I'd recommend that. I take that back. I do not like the Cryo Haven veto. I don't. I don't like whatever we're doing there. We need to review those setups. We need to review those setups. How did they do on defense? Yeah, we need to review those setups. And that's not to say that veto on Haven is bad. In fact, still rated pretty good. And other people make it look better. I don't know why Cryo keeps putting, or who told Cryo to put his teleports like 5 feet apart from one another in these terrible positions. Like I don't get it. There's, I don't, I don't get it. They need to fix that. Cryo is Cryo is still an aimer, so his score is gonna look pretty good once you let him aim. But they need to review what they've done with the setups because you're not using veto. It's just not doing it. And there's one, like teleport towards back plat that I assumed was going to be for retakes or something, but it's not because we're playing odd positions and putting our util down in weird ass places. They need to go back to the drawing board on that. Not to say that it's entirely on Cryo for defense, but the Sentinel setups aren't helping. And fucking push down C. My goodness. Again, that's the other thing. That's coming back to they're setting up Tim, but not Cryo. If they had any bit of util, anything, to let Cryo go down C long and leave a teleport on C, which you can then hide in Cubby, half of their issues on Haven would have been solved, in my opinion. And that's not to say, like, oh my gosh, it's again all on crowd. No, I'm telling you, they need to go back to the drawing board and rethink what they're doing with this comp. This comp is fine, but not the way they're playing it. At least for defense. And on attack, they're not using veto on attack either. I think everybody still on the interceptor needs to be the attack thing, whereas it's like, oh, but they aren't going to. I need to use it to like try to pop fucking a Sova dart coming my way or some shit. But they need to let Cryo explore, tell Cryo to put a teleport, bottom of C on attack, in fucking somewhere, so that he can come back to the team after he gets a pick, or leave the situation while he's lurking, whatever the hell it is. But he's holding on to both teleports and then going the entire round not using them. And mind you, this is me being hypercritical because I'm rooting for 100 Thieves. But man, when you're just barely pulling it over EG, remember what I said when it looks close against a team that's not doing hot, I go, oh shit, this looks not good. So they need to rework what they're doing with Veto on Haven. The setups look not great, and Cryo could have extended so much further. And it's not like Cryo doesn't know how to do that. He plays Chamber. Cryo knows how to walk down and get out, but he's not setting up the teleport, like, because it's not a chamber, but he is at the same time, which is kind of odd. It's like, yeah, this is where this chamber. Maybe that's it. Oh, maybe that's it. Now that I think about it, they are looking very chamber teleporty. No, somebody needs to help Cryo learn where to put the veto teleports. I think he's putting them down where the chamber teleports usually are. Except for, yeah, no, I think that's where he's putting them. I think somebody just said just treat it like chamber and go. Yeah, no, somebody stop that. Let's revisit that. Let's revisit that. EG on the other hand, they made it close. It was kind of funny that they started talking mad shit. Um, and as you can see, like I said, they were again 7-5 half. Then it was looking real fucking sketchy, brother. It was looking real fucking sketchy. So they were ready to get it over. I don't know what beef Com has with Asuna, Cryo, Bang, but he was hot. That man was upset at them. He said, "This is for Boostio," and it backfired. I'm not gonna lie. I like Calm. I don't know what the fuck the beef might be, but that was the most animated I've ever seen Calm. At one point, I think the caster, who was it? Was it Mimi? Somebody said that he's going through the entire emote wheel after he made a play, and that shit was so fucking funny because it was true. I don't know who pissed Calm off on 100 Thieves, but yeah, that looked personal. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but that looked personal. So that's 100 Thieves EG. Then we come to Cloud9 Lev, into which Cloud9 2-0'd Lev pretty fucking convincingly. Um, they have Penny on some of the duelists that Oxy plays, and Oxy on Chamber here. Which I am confused. And I think that Penny got saved by. Well, let me not push that narrative. But last week, it looked pretty odd that now you've put Penny on Duelist and Oxy on Chamber now that Demon One's gone. And from the outside looking in, I'll be honest, it looked like Penny was about to be a fucking scapegoat. It really did. When you make a perplexing decision like that, when you swap those two roles, yeah, Penny was subbing on Duelist. But I don't think many of us would say, no disrespect to Penny, that Penny is a better duelist than Oxy. So maybe Oxy still needed time to heat up, and you can again put the person that just got there on Chamber. And they just have to shoot people. That's their entire kit. Shoot guy. That's it. Shoot guy, place trip, shoot guy. Right? So it works out in the case. But then we come over to Breeze, and Oxy is back on Duelist, and Penny is Viper. Which, hey, again, uh, Penny being able to feel pretty much everything at this point, pretty solid, right? Invaluable in that sense. Lev, oh boy, oh man, oh shoot, look, I've been saying that it didn't look great But man, it didn't look good. It did not look good. So, and you can tell by the scores, that shit was not good. I hope Cloud9 keeps this form. Ziosis has looked like a better caller than many people know. And that brings me to another thing about Sentinels. Ziosis said that they knew he wanted to be a caller. And that's why he left the Cloud9. John no longer wants to be a caller. That's why he's not a caller. Why the fuck is Ziosis and not still on Sentinels? Now, mind you, Ziosis has also got an MCE replaced for Emmy, from what we know. So I don't know if Ziosis is full of bullshit when it comes to some of these things, but it does sound interesting. It does seem interesting. That, hold on now, that guy over there said that he wanted to be caller, and he was on the team with this guy that was the caller and no longer wants to be caller. And you had a smokes player, but you let him go back to 100 Thieves and prove that he wasn't the problem with whatever the fuck was going on at Sentinels. So we see that John wasn't the issue. We see that Joseph isn't the issue. Even though, hey, y'all were, look, too many people were like, yeah, Joseph doesn't put up those numbers. I didn't think he put up those numbers, but man, y'all were treating it like he was bad. I think Joseph is still a fine player. And then you have a guy that is proving that he's not the issue on his team that he was at and then went back home to. So 3 out of 5 people weren't the issue. From that, you then had to narrate on the team still. Zekin left, and you knew you were picking up Redux as soon as he turned 18. That was the entire meme, the entire time. Why do I have this team that I have now on Sentinels? I don't understand. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Why do we have that team on Sentinels? I don't know, Chief. Either way, Zeus looks like he can call. Looks like he doesn't have that big of an ego to just say, hey, like when they had Demon 1, hey, Demon 1, you want to stand over there and kill him? Fuck it. Let it ride. Zeppa, Vic, we'll do our shit over here. Penny, Bud, get in there, smack him around the head, right? Looks like Zeus is doing fine as calling. Quite honestly, he's looking pretty good at it. The calls are looking pretty good. I know I was at Liv and then I went back, but yeah, oof. Yeah, I'm not touching that. Not touching that. Not touching that anymore. Lev is gone. That's it. And then NRGG2. I'm still not changing what I said last week. I don't understand why Baby Bay is the second duelist over Leaf. Still don't get it. Yes, I know Baby Bay used to be a duelist. And Baby Bay, admittedly, still looks fine at it. And I'm glad they finally realized, hey, just telling Jog to go die in places isn't helping you. It's not doing it. But I will say this is smart from another reason. It also gets people to shut the fuck up about Baby Bay versus Jonah P. This is a time where Josh RT, I believe, you do the double down. And I think they said that actually. I think they said like, "Hey, we heard the fans, but yeah, thanks for that kick or some shit like that." I don't remember what they said, but I think it was something along those lines. This is one of those times where you do double down. You go, y'all keep riding Baby Bay's jock. Even though he's proving that he can shoot. And that's all he needed to do on Chamber. And then you put him on some other things, and he still was doing fine. It is a dangerous game when you have not a single person on the enemy team go above 0 for across the series. And 4 out of your 5 players are positive double digits. Damn. Sorry, Leafy isn't in that cut this time, but I don't think it would. I mean, would it have been possible for all of them to be positive double digits and not anybody go negative? I don't know if that's truly possible. But yeah, make Leaf the Sentinel again. This is what people ask for you when you put Baby Bay kind of on the team anyway, that it didn't really make too much sense to move Leaf off of Sentinel when he's been proving to do well as Sentinel. But then you bring in Baby Bay, and Baby Bay isn't doing just Jonah P's role. He's doing Leaf's role, and then you make Leaf do what Jonah P was doing. That was fucking weird. But you unleash Baby Bay, who's still shooting out here. Fine. I'd rather this. I'd rather this. I guess. I'd also rather that I see Leaf Chamber again. That too. But the thing that I like the most is, first off, Phoenix on Jog. My goodness. Did I make a call or did I make a call? Uh, Wait until they learn some lineups for this shit. Especially with it being on Pearl with Veto. Boy, howdy. When I said my video of like, hey, I don't think Raze is the answer. Yeah, Phoenix is one of the answers that I think you put with Veto. Full disclosure. That said, on top of that, boy, when I said if you do anything to Yoru, people are just going to go to Phoenix, and Phoenix is still good. Yeah, Phoenix is mad slept on. Everybody keeps going, but Phoenix isn't good. Phoenix is fine. Phoenix is actually pretty good. Yeah, it doesn't have a dash. And that's like what everybody goes crazy about. It's like, oh, there's my duel. Let's have a movement thing. Yeah, I think, first off, G2 has solved the correct double duelist situations on both Pearl and Split. Uh, so, I've made a comparison to Yoru and Phoenix. How different is it to have a guy that you can't see spotting everybody out for his ult, guy that you have to kill twice with his gun out, running it down twice, flashes, yeah, doesn't have the same like teleport, cool, but the teleport mixed with an agent that does want to go back, we've seen that before. Goodness, it's Yoru Waylay all over again, except it works because these two can do the same thing as their ult twice over. One is on 6 points. One is higher. Either way, maybe I'll make that a separate video. But G2 has, maybe I'll just make a G2 has solved it situation. Maybe I'll make that a video. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on how I'm feeling. But thank you. We figured it out. Now, mind you, Paper Rex also was doing Yoru Phoenix too. But it's the addition of Veto that I'm like, oh, they've figured it out. They figured out correctly who to put with where. You also have Astra. I think that Phoenix Astra Veto is pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Just wait until you learn some lineups. And they fixed the jump throw for Vito's chokehold, which they still haven't done somehow. Then we come to Split, and SpaghettiOs! They found out the correct duelist combination here too. Waylay and Neon. How about I stun there, and why do I always forget what the fuck the hinder is called? I don't know why I can't ever remember. Saturate. I don't know why I can't ever remember Saturate. But what if I saturate this corner, a Neon fucking slides in after that, or, just like a fucking seal, or, The Neon goes stuns some other corner too, and then the Waylay gets to dive on that motherfucker. Instead of my Waylay having to do all of it and come back. They figured it out. G2 has figured it out. I'm so happy that G2's figured it out that I don't have much to say about NRG. I'm gonna be real. I was sitting there and all looking at G2 like they've actually fucking done it. They've done it. They found the right answer. And you'd be like, why is it the right answer, Monster, besides what you were just explaining? Because that's what I have put down as the correct duelist combinations. Neon Waylay, Phoenix Yoru. I call Yoru Phoenix the pranksters. Like, if they want to get real bold, throw a clove in there. No, I'm joking. Don't throw clove in there. But throw Gecko in there. And then it gets funny. It gets real funny. It gets hilarious, actually. Not viable on all maps. Definitely not on Pearl. I don't. Maybe. I don't. I don't think. I don't think. But on something like Bind, those four get real funny together. Uh, so yeah, G2, they've done it. They figured it out. They figured out the right combinations. Mark my words, they figured out the right combinations. So that was America's. I'm sorry, America's took already 46 minutes. Let's speed through everybody else, I guess. Well, that's why I have EMEA up next because I had to stop watching. I had to stop fucking watching. Oh my goodness. I had to stop watching. I had to. Your Honor, I had to. So, where did we leave off with fucking EMEA? Did we make it to the third? Is it third, fourth, fifth, sixth? It was 30 last week. Yeah, so Carmine Corfoot. I think that's where we were. It it all looks so bad, man. EMA looks so fucking bad. It looks bad. Like it all just looks bad. Nothing has looked good so far to me. Well, don't know how the fuck I accidentally hit that. Pacific Oath. I'd say I'm more excited for Pacific moving forward because they were making it look good versus other teams, and then they go into Oath, who have looked not great because they can't be expected to look great with two substitutes. But this one looked the worst out of them, if you ask me. And then I'm pretty sure I heard that they benched the coach. Was it before this game? Yeah, fuck, man. Heritage Carmine Core looked like a fucking clown show. Liquid Oath. Again, Liquid, how am I supposed to feel better about it? When the squad that's been looking the worst, tied for the worst, because at least Pacific made it look better versus Giant X, but then it turns out Giant X fucking look horrendous. Um, and then this is my thing, right? With Pipson, I don't think I could yell at Pipson because I don't think that's the issue. I have full confidence that Pipson has told the players, hey, this is where this, and this goes, and like, hey, this is, but it just seems like they just fucking forget in the moment. I don't get it. It all looked bad. It all looked bad. Like there's nothing to go into because it all looked bad. Navi Fnatic. Fnatic scares me again. They pulled it over the line, but my goodness, what did I tell you? When you punch them in the mouth, it just looks like it's out. You should already mark it as a win for the other team. So, in the half, 9-3. Then you go to 11-3. Then Navi gets 3 wins. And I go, oh, they've won. Because then they get 4 more fucking wins, bringing it to 10-11. And I go, telling you, if you just tell Boaster, hey, stop that real quick, it will turn over. But Navi don't look strong enough to drag it across the line. Then you go here, because again, if you tell Boaster, hey, stop that, I just know that that's going to carry over for a lot of fucking rounds. That's my headcanon. That's my meta. That's my player read. The same way I think that Kaplan is probably stubborn based off what we see. That's my read on Boaster, who I do root for. Somebody needs to get in there with Boaster and figure out how to stop the spiral. 13-6 to Navi, looking like shit. And then they had Vekaj on Jet. And people were like, no, that's the issue. I don't think that was. If I'm being honest, I don't think it was. He did fine. He did his role, actually. He did fine. But then he looked even better on Bind. So I don't think you could blame that on Vekaj. I think that it is just the spiral. And they almost fucking lost it, as you can see. Somebody got to stop that fucking spiral, dude. I don't know. That's going to be the narrative I push. Stop the spiral. Vitality beat Giant X's ass. Thank you for giving us Fnatic versus Vitality. But Vitality also don't look that amazing to me. After they've lost to BBL and the games with a team that I say don't look good. They had the 13-0. That was pretty funny. But then the 13-11, which was like, huh. So, when it's a stomp like this on Abyss, I think that just means that the Giant X just looks more shit on it than me going, oh yeah, Chronicle did go 20-5. That was pretty sick. And Prophet went 13-1. Awesome. Pretty cool. There you go to Breeze. Yampi Yoru was on Abyss, that's right. Fine, I guess. But yeah, Giant X looked miserable. So you got Giant X looking pathetic, and they get lost to BBL. Fnatic lost to who again? They also lost to BBL. So both teams, both juggernauts, quote unquote, losing to BBL. But Fnatic is starting to understand what to do, kind of. If somebody figures out how to stop the spiral, it'll look fine. But then we come down here, right? We come down here to this. Like, no, I can't. Heretics looks fucking terrible. Giant X looks terrible. Navi looks terrible. Liquid looks terrible. There's nothing to talk about here. You can't blame Ultra Pacific. You can blame everybody else. Like, it just, I can't talk. I can't. I'm losing my fucking mind. So we're going to Pacific. Oh yeah, my pick'ems. How are my pick'ems looking? America's. I am smack dab in the middle. Yeah. Oh, upper quarter, I guess. Damn, 3 people don't know shit. Man, who are those people? But 5 people know everything. I know something apparently. So that's that. And the thing that really fucked me is Crew didn't get their team back. So I had faith on Crew. Sorry, I had faith on that one. EMEA, how's my pickums doing here? I think I don't know jack shit here because there were so many upsets, right? Yeah. Uh, at least I'm not alone. That's a high number of us not knowing shit. And we got a Pacific. And before I forget, let's start with my pickums. Where am I on the pickums in Pacific? Oof, not hot. Damn, only one person didn't know a damn thing. That's unfortunate. Hate to be that person. But Pacific. Where were we at on Pacific? It was 5, 6, 7, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So, Team Secret Zeta. Goodness, man. Secret. Blow it up again. Blow it up again. I wanted to have faith. Damn it. Looked terrible. It was a battle of who looked shit, who looked worse, or who looked like less shit. They literally 13-4'd each other back to back, and I was just like, what are we doing here? Why is this going on? And then 13-11. Um, Vero Genji, was this the shot? Or was it Genji? I think it was Genji Global, where Zinx hit an insane hospital flick. Here, Vero Genji. First up, Genji took that. I yeah, that's it. That I got nothing. Got nothing. Then we go to Vero taking it over the edge on Pearl, and we go to Haven. I just, what do I say? What do I say? What do I say? I got nothing. I got nothing to say. Really, I have nothing to say about that game. Got nothing to say about it. That's 5. Then we come back here. 4 cents DFM. Surprised 4 cents went down. Really was surprised. Which is, you're like, yeah, so DFM should look better. I think they peaked right there because I'm not convinced. I'm be real, I'm not convinced. They beat Team Secret, then they beat GE. And GE, I am now on GE's head and Frost head. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Paper X T1. Paper X look really bad. T1 just look less bad. I'll be real. People are now high on T1 again. I think they just don't look as bad as Paper X look right now. I think that's entirely it. I do not rate what's going on with T1 just yet. Because what game was it? Was it versus Genji? Yeah, this I'm not then like, oh yeah, they're no. This was a fiasco. But whatever Paper X is doing right now is much more of a fiasco. Then we come to DRX Zeta, not worth talking about. DRX don't look that hot either. In all truth, like as you can see, like it was pretty comparable. And when you look comparable to Zeta, you don't look that good right now. This is the one that I want to rant about. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it was Breeze. Where I don't remember what point it was, but Frost, who I know is on Twitter, you will see Frost tweet. So Frost might see this, and yeah, I'm coming for you too. This man saw everybody flaming Aang. I know he had to see everybody flaming Aang for pausing while your team is winning and it backfiring. And that's what happened to your own Breeze. I don't remember what round it was. I really wish they put timeouts in this. That'd be kind of cool. Um, But yeah, it backfired. It fucking backfired. And again, I don't know. Oh, again, because I'm rooting for this team, I have so much to say. Or well, because I was rooting for this team, they're out. Um, I have so much to say. Frost needs to work with Xavi on attack. They don't know how to cancel. It wasn't this game that was probably the most prevalent in, but so I'll move past that. But Breeze, Jinx had a fucking hospital flick, so go watch that. That was cool. Uh, Abyss. No shit. Was it the Paper Rex game that Frost did that and it backfired? I might be confusing games. Either way, it's one of the games. Frost did it and it backfired. Then did it again, but admittedly, I think that when he did it again, not to double down, I'm pretty sure he called it when it did look like his team was not about to win the round. Because they looked really bad, and I don't remember how they got it over the line. It was kind of, I think it was like a 1v2 or something, and they just so happened to win it out. Uh, so that one I'm not going to hold. But the other time, it was just like, no, that was, you were doing some ang shit. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just don't do it. Um, GE don't look good. They look better than I think most people expected, but win loss, win loss, win loss is truly the Frost curse. It truly has happened. But that's pretty much because I am convinced that the only two that are thinking on the fucking team at a time of like what's all going on is Patman and Udo. And I don't know what the fuck is going through some of the other it's because I'm rooting for him that I'm this annoyed. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, why is that the next thing you do? Why would that be the next play? So yeah, and then Gen G, same thing, but across the board, because it's like texture. Why did you do that? Lakia, why did you? Karen, why did you do that? You know what? I think the only person on Gen G that I haven't had that moment too much is Zinx. I think I've seen the line of thinking for Zinx on almost every play. For everybody else, they've at least had 2 or 3 rounds that I'm wondering, what the fuck were you thinking? Um, so this one was a game to watch. This one was a game to watch. There was Gen G Global. Then we come back to Full Sense DRX. DRX just took it over. I think Full Sense burned themselves out, unfortunately. And Paper XGE. This drives me up a wall because again, Paper X had no business winning this shit. As you can see from these scores, it's not like it was that crazy. You have Patman going almost plus 20 on the series. Now, I'm going to be real, don't know how Crystal pulled plus 9. And then the rest of this is really bad in the scheme of things. Which is unfortunate that this is where Udo had the toughest trouble. And I also was laughing because I was like, wait, did Frost just make Paper X V2 and try to just like go at it that way? With like slight alterations, I guess. I thought that was funny. Not true, but I thought it was funny. Um, like the Powerpuff Girls and the Rowdy Rough Boys type shit. Uh, that's GE had no business losing this shit. None. None. It did. This is what I mean. They 13-6 them on Breeze. It was close on Corrode. This is again where I'm like, Frost, please call the timeout. Your team doesn't know what the fuck to do. Please call the timeout. But I think more so than anything, this is why I say that Xavi needs to work on attack calling. Not because he went -12, but cancel. There are 3 people shooting your smoke and you've lost 2 players. Go somewhere else. After you lose the first person and hear 3 guns still firing into the smoke, cancel. And it's not like you do the thing where you cut noise and then re-hit. No. Just keep trying to fucking force through the smoke that has 3 people shooting at it. Cancel the fucking hit. Cut noise and re-hit. Don't continue to go, okay guys, at least one of them is reloading. No! Cancel the hit! I was losing my mind on this shit for Corrode. Cancel the fucking hit! I don't know what Frost taught them, maybe? I don't know. But we gotta learn to cancel hits. You hear 3, it's Paper Rex. They're still gonna do bullshit. Paper Rex should not still be firing 3 guns into a smoke to let you know that 3 of them are on site. But, counterpoint, if your fucking enemy is not going to leave and still try to push through that smoke, fuck it, why not? Go for it. I was losing my fucking mind. Oh my gosh, that was the stupidest shit. I almost punched my monitor. Cause what the fuck was that, boys? This had no reason. 9-3. Into a 13-10 loss. Pissed me the fuck off. My goodness. My goodness, did that piss me off. So yeah, that's Pacific. And we started with my pick'ems, right? Let's just real quick again. Apparently I don't know shit. Because apparently Pacific doesn't know shit. That's a lie. Pacific, I can't blame that on all of Pacific. But GE that was such a fucking letdown at how y'all went out. My goodness. 9-3 on the half and then blow them out on Breeze. That should have been Paper Rex out the tournament. With how they're playing, that should have been Paper Rex out. Then we go to China. Start off with the pick'ems again. Do I know anything about China? I know a tiny bit. Absolute small margin. Matches. Whoopsie. The fuck? All right, because we've had the finishes now. EDG made it over Billy Billy. Zhilai made it over Billy Billy. Zhilai said, well, no, we're getting it on that next one. And Billy Billy could not clutch up. Is there anything to say kind of overall with that being the ending? I think everybody looked... So EDG, as you can see, had a streak of 2-1 wins. After getting their ass kicked. What day was that? Because they got 2-0'd by Zhilai. Yeah, they got their ass kicked there. Then Billy Billy wins against them. Then Billy Billy wins over DRG. Yeah, so China kind of speed ran the shit, so it was tough to watch all of it. I'm trying to remember which ones I actually could watch. But I did end up watching the lower final for sure. Kong Kong plus 28 on their heads. Everybody negative, so that's not a good look. Um, yeah. Yeah. Billy, you had two shots of this thing. Could not do it. So, Billy, that was upsetting. Who was my dark horse? Was it Billy? I think my dark horse was Billy. Right? No, it was FPX. Right. It was FPX. I had Billy just getting there. Damn, did I really not have EDG? I think I changed it. Damn, that's right, I changed it. But yeah, DRG didn't make it. Gamers, Zeli, and EDG made it. So DRG, Billy, the ones that I thought would do it, nope, neither one of them made it. Uh, and FPX bottomed the fuck out. I'm trying to remember, is there any game that I watched that I would recommend watching too? It was late, and they kind of speed ran their entire bracket. As you can see, they started later, but somehow finished before every other region. I don't know why they did that, but they did. So we won't be talking about China next week, I guess. Got to go back and watch the finals, admittedly of upper and middle. But yeah, that's kind of that. So apparently, I didn't know that much on China, which I already knew I didn't know that much. And yeah, that's kickoff week 4. It was a doozy. EMEA. I honestly might not watch EMEA anymore because I can't. My head hurts watching this shit. Pacific have surprisingly non-sim RQ. DFM T1. DRX Paper X, of course, to watch. Interesting. EMA Gentle Mage BBL. This one should be a banger. But I think at this point I'm convinced even more about BBL. This one I don't think will be a banger. I think it'll be a banger in the sense of what are they doing? Going back and forth. I don't know if Yampi can outcall Boaster, but I don't know if Vekaz, Kayak, and Alfair can out aim Chronicle, Dirtke, and what Profit, I guess? Unfake? Profit? Sure, one of them. Pick whoever. So that's EMEA. Heretic Liquid. Heretic should win because Liquid looks so bad, but Heretics also look pretty shit. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this. And then we have surprisingly MIBR Furia. MIBR should take that one. Furia had quite the interesting bracket. First, team of substitutes. Sentinels that looked poorly. G2 that still didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Here we go to MIBR. They also had the Jonah P. Hate Watch buff, so there was that. So just saying, MIBR so far had to take down NRG, Envy. Yeah, well, those are the two. And then it'll be like that, I guess. 100 Thieves Cloud9 should be interesting. I think that's going to be close, and I might not watch it for the sake of my heart. But yeah, that's everything this week. If you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.